Welcome to In the Zone. I'm Craig Zimmerman. This is the edition number 12, and I've got a local folk here by the name of Sue Sharnweber Daniels. Welcome, Sue.
Thank you. Well, glad to be here.
So Paul recommended you to come here because you have a wealth of information about the St. Clair Pool, the theater, Santa Parade, a few more things. So tell us about where you grew up.
I grew up here in St. Clair. My parents were Oscar and Helen Sharnweber, and I have 4 siblings. I have my brother David, my sister Kay, my brothers Bob and Bill, and everybody knows Bob.
For better or worse. Bob's going to watch this because he's going to be told by somebody that this is going to be on, so we can't talk too bad about Bob.
I'll be nice. Yeah.
So you were born in downtown St. Clair?
Right, the old community hospital. Mm-hmm.
Okay. As was I, so yeah, I remember that. Graduated from St. Clair High?
St. Clair High School, yes, went to Port Huron Junior College and then transferred out to Eastern Michigan University.
Okay. And then you were the aquatic director at the city pool?
Yeah, well, yes.
Coordinator?
Yes.
Okay.
For the city, yes. It was a year-round, part-time position in the winter and full-time in the summer.
Okay. Tell us about the pool. What years were you there?
Well,
Roughly.
The motto was swim and dive in 55.
Okay.
And that's, the community raised the money to build that pool. Okay. It was all with community donations. And the first couple of years I was just a young teen, too young to go in at night because he had to be 16. And, but I had to do my brother's paper route, so I got to go in at night. Okay. And then I came to work for the city when I was 15 in the playground program at Clutcha. And then the next summer I was part-time at the Eddy Playground. And then the afternoon worked the baby pool because I wasn't certified then. Okay. And we would check feet. We used to have to check feet back then. We would work between the office, the foot check, and the baby pool, which isn't there anymore. And the following summer, I then decided I was going to get some certification. I went to the National Aquatic School and got complete certification in everything, including small craft, all that. Okay. And came back here, and Mary Lou Lorenz was running the pool that summer. And she was from Detroit. And she thought she was certified, but she wasn't, so I ended up having to certify all the lessons and everything, which was okay. But she did introduce me to the sport of synchronized swimming, which I had not known existed except for Esther Williams in the movies. And she introduced and would throw me in the pool and haul me out of the tower and throw me in the pool to learn the stunts and things. And at the end of the summer, we put on our first swim show. That was 1959. Okay. And we have put on swim shows up until, let's see, there were 53 shows. Wow. We had a big 50th anniversary show. We brought back the alumni that got in and swam. Okay. We all got in. I even got in and swam the finale. And that was a lot of fun. A lot of kids went through that program.
Sure, sure.
Both boys and girls, because the boys would always have a comedy number, you know. Yep. And and we were the only club around here that did the sport. And then we started a competitive team, and it was just between like Richmond and St. Clair, and that's all, you know, who had teams.
City pools.
Yeah, the city pools. And then gradually Algonac jumped in, and then Port Huron, Marysville jumped in, and then Port Huron, and we became the Blue Water Summer Swim League, which still remains active today, only I don't know if Algonac's opening or not, and Marine Cities program is gone, and so it may end up just a few teams that get together and have some fun meets. But they do learn competitive swimming. That's where they start. That's what was good about it. And then they could move, when Blue Water Swim Club was formed, and the kids could go on to there where they could, hone their sport,
Sure.
learn their strokes better, and go out to the USS swim meets,
Which leads into high school swimming?
which leads them into high school swimming
Okay.
and also into college,
Sure. Okay.
which we had several kids go on to swim at several universities.
Yep. Okay. What's interesting about this area is that until you sit here and think about it and have a discussion, you don't really remember that. Like, some cities have beaches, some don't. Some have city pools, some don't.
Right.
It's like Algonac, I know that they've got a city pool at the Lions Club. They have a small beach. Marine City's got a pretty good sized beach, but no pool. St. Clair's got no beach, but a big pool presence. Marysville has a beach,
They have a beach.
and they have a city pool as well?
No,
Okay. So
they have a splash pad.
okay.
Yeah.
In Marysville Park, I'm guessing?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And then Port Huron obviously probably has
Two
I
pools.
was going to say 2 pools.
And Lakeside Beach.
Yes, yeah, so all kinds of different scenarios going on in the area there.
Yeah.
So you've done that for many, many years at the pool, and then you've also done some things at the St. Clair Theater Guild.
Yes. After
Explain
when I graduated from Eastern Michigan, this is rather kind of funny. I graduated on a Sunday afternoon and started teaching at the laboratory school at Lincoln Consolidated Monday morning.
Okay.
And had a student teacher that lived down the hall from me when I was in the dorm. That was a eye-awakening thing. So I taught at Ypsilanti Lincoln for 4.5 years, but would come back here in the summer. And let's see, where were we going with
Oh,
this?
with that issue, just the St. Clair Theater Guild and how that
Oh,
whole...
okay. When I came, I decided to come back to this area, and taught 1 year at Marysville, but I had the pom-pom corps and the majorettes and the cheerleaders down here, and we had a practice one night, and I saw these people out in the school gym, and they looked like they were rehearsing something. So I walked up to them and I said, "What is this?" And I met Helen Gonzalez, and she and Don Weber, started the St. Clair Theater Guild, and they were doing The Sound of Music. And she said, "Well, have you done any choreography?" I said, "Well, yes, a lot of it. I've taught dance." And so I ended up going in and working with them on the dance segments, the musical staging for The Sound of Music. Just kind of came in. Ever since then,
Been active in
been
it,
active with it. Yeah.
on duty, if you will.
Yes.
How many different productions do you think you've done?
Oh.
Is there any way to count them?
Well,
Or straight from a certain year?
I directed. I started directing in '71 with Bye Bye Birdie,
Okay.
and it's well over 35 to 40 musicals that I've done.
Okay.
And 4 of those were The Sound of Music.
Okay.
We repeat, because whenever we were down in funds, you put on The Sound of Music. This area loves it.
Sure.
And they'll fill the auditorium for
Okay.
it. And yep, we've done everything, and we've done dinner theater, we've done cabarets, and we were extremely active. But as of lately, we're
Down in numbers?
well, we pretty much don't exist anymore.
Okay. Okay. Now you also do a producing of a parade.
Yes. I had done it years ago with the fellow that worked down at the dime store, Jim Doherty,
Okay.
and we had put on one parade, and it was the Ohio State Day. And it was freezing cold. So we'd put on one parade, this town, and
Yeah.
then it sort of died off. And then in, let's see, I mentioned it to Chuck Courier at
Okay.
Silks. I
I know
said,
Chuck well, yeah.
he was on the Beautification Commission. I said, why don't we bring a Santa Parade back? Why couldn't we do this? So he went to Beautification commission, and they were game to do it. So he called me. He said, "Can you come to the next meeting?" I said, "Sure." And so in 2009, the Santa Parade was reborn, and we've had one every year except 2020.
COVID year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're talking about now the latter parts of May, 1st of June, but you're probably already working on the Santa Parade coming up?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Because I have to make arrangements to get a band, because our band is going to be at Disney World.
Okay.
This is the year they go. I lose them every 3 years.
Okay.
And this is the year they go, which is a wonderful experience for the kids, but
Sure.
sad for us that we lose our band.
So do you have your band already picked out?
Not yet,
Okay.
but we're working on it.
Now, is that something where you would pull from Marysville or Marine
From Marine
City?
City. Marine
Okay.
City has come one year,
Okay.
and I'm hoping, beyond hope, if I can at least just get them
Yeah.
to commit. And
I would think that at Santa Parade, you're able to get some people to come as long as they don't have a prior commitment.
right. Well, I know that you can get bands from Canada. The Kilty bands would come over, but they
Okay.
charge an arm and a leg.
Sure.
And now with the travel,
Right, restrictions.
it's kind
exactly.
of, who knows? But they'll come over here for any parade. They love it.
Okay. Yeah, you do tend to see them at the summer festivals.
But
and
it's
things
the
like that.
summer festivals
Yes.
we see them at. I
Yeah.
don't see them too
Winter.
much in the, like the Detroit parades.
Now, you also were a chairperson, excuse if the word is wrong, but the 150-year celebration of St. Clair, the sesquicentennial.
Sesquicentennial, very good, you did it. I was on the executive board.
Okay.
We had an executive board, and over here we had one of the little rooms we called our war room, and that's where everything was born. And
Okay.
and it was a lot of work. It was a lot of work for a lot of people, but
Are you working on the 200th year anniversary?
no, I got the time capsule buried.
Okay.
That's it.
That's your part, eh?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't expect to be around then.
Okay. Anything else that I missed that you've been part of? Paul Dingman said how many things you're involved in, so you got to tell me if I'm missing anything here.
Well, the one thing I'm noted for is the local paper. It used to be the Independent Press before it became The Voice. The editor made me a bet. I asked for a big article for my swim show that year. It was 1961. And he said, well, I had talked for years. We would always swim across the river. I mean, that was just
Back when you were kids,
something we
right,
did, yeah.
right.
We would swim over Courtright and swim back. And I'd always said that, I'd like to swim the length of it. And he said, all right, we'll sponsor you if you really want to do it. And I'll give you, if you make it, I'll give you the headlines for the swim show. So I talked to my good friend Roy Wade, state trooper, and JJ.
Stockhausen?
No.
Oh, okay.
He was in the sheriff's dive team. Foster.
Okay.
AJ Foster.
Yep.
There we go. And so they said, yeah, we'll train you.
Now, let me back up a second. You're talking about the length of the river.
Yes, sir.
Starting in Port Huron
Above the bridge.
and going to Lake St. Clair?
No, you go to the flats, is the end of the river. That buoy at the end of that's the end, that's where I got out. Well, they were going to haul me out anyway, but I didn't know that the last mile, AJ swam with me and he had a loop around my arm.
Just in case.
Just in case, because I was getting tired.
How old
and
were you when
cold.
you did that?
20.
Wow. How many miles? That's got to be 25 miles.
32 nautical, 26 by land.
Now, to your knowledge, is there anybody else that done that?
No,
Even to this date?
no.
That is crazy.
It was crazy because I was labeled, and from then on, the children would call me the purple lady because when I would get into the water.
Your body was purple, right?
Yeah, it did. It just, I can't stand cold.
Now, I'm guessing you did this in July or August.
In August,
Okay.
which was it, but it was a Sunday when the flotilla is out there,
Okay.
and it was also raining, and there was a south wind, And as you've seen the river, when there's a
Oh.
south wind, I'd swim 2 strokes forward and get pushed back 4 at times.
So what time
And,
did you start?
6 o'clock in the morning.
And what time did you finish?
They pulled, when I get out, 3, it was 8 hours and 45 minutes.
Wow.
Because the irony of it all was when I delivered my first baby, we noticed the clock, and I said to the doctor, you know, it's the same length of time it took me to swim the river.
So do most local people that run into you know that you did this if you were walking through town tomorrow?
No.
That's an amazing feat.
No, it is, and every once in a while it'll get brought up,
Sure.
and they'll come to me and say, "Did you really do that?" And I said, "Yes, I was stupid enough to do
Well, when you're
that."
20, though, you know, it's like.
Well, but yeah, I got back to campus, and Dr. Oles, the head of the PE department, came into me and he says, "Well, would you represent Eastern to go in the Lake Ontario swim?" Well, no, I'm there to learn. I've got classes to take and
Sure.
things to do. And I was also on the synchronized swimming team and busy there, and I was on the gymnastic team, and I didn't have time to train for that, and there was no place to train for that. I thought, well, that was crazy.
So did you get your byline in the paper?
Yes, I got the
Okay.
headline.
And what did it say?
Um,
Trying to,
oh my goodness, I should have brought.
no, that's interesting.
Well, there
We'll
were
have to see that.
several. There was a Free Press. There's several newspapers
Well, you know-
involved. It went out on the wire.
Yeah, if today I said, hey, let's go have some kids swim across the river, some of the kids would think you were nuts to do that. To swim the length of the river is a whole nother story.
That's right.
So that's amazing.
Well, my 2 girls, who were swimmers, strong swimmers, wanted to. All they asked to do was swim from a family friend's boat out on the sandbar into the boardwalk. And I said, all right, I'll let you do that. So I swam in first, and then I let them come one at a time in so they could go that far.
Now,
That's where it stops.
My next question was going to be, when you swam across the river, when you did that normally, you probably did it every summer, probably for a number of summers.
We were river rats.
Did you stop on the sandbar or no?
No, we did not.
Because depending upon the height of the water, you could.
The year. There were
Yeah.
some years where you could, some years you
Right.
can't. Yeah.
And so probably.
And we would torment the freighters. I hate to tell you that, but we were terrible.
Is it 5 short?
When you hear the toot, toot,
Right,
toot,
right.
toot, yeah, they're saying, get out of the way.
Exactly.
And at one point, we knew exactly how far away to stay with the undertow.
Sure.
We were raised in that river. And the cook came out with a pot of coffee. He was threatening to dump it on us. So.
I've often thought that it would be very interesting to see some video of the lake freighters going by, say in the 60s and 70s, when there was so many more boats back then.
Yes.
They say that United States Steel one time had 100 ships because they were 500 feet long roughly. So you grew up in that area and saw them and swam against them, I guess.
Oh, all around them.
Yeah.
There was a lot of them in the water. Now, I mean, these people who come to town to look at the freighters, they got to sit and wait
Yes.
for the longest. Well, you know, a lot of them are in dry dock right now.
Right.
They're not using them all
Yeah.
because there isn't the demand for it.
Now, you were involved in the Historical Society at all?
No, but since
Okay.
I've just retired,
Okay, you might.
I have given them things. I have worked with them on a couple of things, and to thank me, the divers had brought up a container of Salutaris soda, the original stuff that was bottled down there where Angler Rod
Okay, yeah,
was.
yeah.
And to thank me, they gave me one of the bottles, and I still have it, and it's full.
Now explain this to a lot of people that don't know what was at that site. We're talking about where the Angler's Rod and Reel was, and now there's going to be another cultivation type station.
Yeah,
But that building there was a mineral spring?
Mineral Springs.
Okay.
And they're still there.
And what was that they gave you? The
This
soda?
was the bottled soda.
Okay. Flavor?
That they flavored.
Okay.
Salutaris bottled water.
You remember going there as kids?
No,
Okay.
not so much. I didn't. We go to A&W.
Okay, okay.
down the road a piece. But I still have it, and I keep it, and it is full.
I don't know that I'd want to drink it today.
No, but I don't want to break the. I don't
Right,
want to
the
break the
seal.
seal because then it's
Exactly.
not worth anything.
Right.
But that was brought up by some of the divers.
Now, do you ever swim in the river in the summer any longer?
No.
Me neither.
I went in once up at a friend's house. They had a party, and it was so hot. I said, I can't take this anymore. And I went in, swam out to the edge of the dock, and got out at the ladder. And everybody was just laughing and taking pictures. Look, she's finally back in the river.
It doesn't quite get warm enough till about the middle of August for me.
Well, that's it. I mean, we used to jump in on May 1st
Okay.
up at a friend's house.
Yep.
Just to say we did. But it was the quickest dip you ever
Right.
took because it's icy cold yet.
I've got a neighbor that jumps in usually in May sometime, and I
Yeah.
call him Nordic Man because it's so cold in May.
Oh, it certainly wakes you up.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So it sounds like from the perspective of a local historian with the pools and the parades and the St. Clair Theater Grill, there's not many more people in town that have more connections and know the people about that than you do.
That's where I've gotten to know a lot of people. And people will say, oh, you work on that too? I thought you were at the pool. Oh, you do this too?
Sure.
Yeah, well, I just love St. Clair.
That's good.
And
yeah.
I've loved working for the city. I really have. I've worked for the city since I was 15,
Yep.
and I have retired at 81.
Okay. Congratulations to you. What a storied history you've done.
I've loved it.
Yeah.
I've loved it, and it's really good memories. I got a lot of things, that I'm grateful for. Yeah.
And we need more people like you to do some of those things.
I'd love somebody to just get fired up and jump in.
Yeah.
I'll be right behind them to help them, whatever they
Right.
want to do. But what I hoped we could do before I retired was to develop a new aquatic facility in this community. Our pool is old, but she still fires up. For some reason, it's really, every year we cross our fingers and cross our toes and push the button and to see if it'll fire up.
Yep.
And for some, she'll have her breakdowns and whatever, but she is an old pool since 1955. And I would like to see a new one developed that was like more handicap accessible. And for the smaller children, the sprinkle part of it,
Yep.
so that there's different depths. And I think this community really needs it, but I was hoping I would see it before I retired, but
Sure.
it's not in the cards yet.
Okay. Still have time though.
Yes.
Okay.
Anybody want to talk, I'll help get anything started.
That sounds like something the Community Foundation should get involved in maybe, huh?
I would love to see the Community Foundation get involved. That would be wonderful. If they want to give me a buzz, I'll help them.
Okay. Well, thank you to Sue Sharnweber Daniels. You've been a great guest today.
Well, thank you for having me.
We-
This has really been a trip down memory lane.
There you go. We'll like to see you downtown. Maybe we'll see you at the art fair this summer or somewhere along the boardwalk.
Yep.
Have a great day. Stay tuned to CTV6 for any other programming, and you see the number on the screen, 586-707-5811 is my cell number. If you know of anybody that you would like to see interviewed or learn something about them like you did today about Sue, give me a ring. Thank you. There we go.
Yeah.